It is Tuesday, 26 July 2022. In this Skidmark, I'm going to talk about the European gas crisis. And I've got quite a few snippets of information that I want to share. So some of them I'm not going to read the whole snippet. I suggest you just pause the video and read through the thing if you want to read through the thing. But the reality of that gas crisis in Europe is simply this. And you must understand, I'm not a gas specialist, I'm not a financial specialist, I'm not a military specialist. I'm just an ordinary guy that reads the news and read and think and apply common sense. That is it. Just plain common sense. I do not for 1 second want to give myself out as some or other investigative reporter or a forensic investigator or what. I read things, I listen to people, and I think about it, and I apply common sense. And I share the common sense with you, and that is what it is. I just share my common sense interpretations of what I see. Now the first thing that I have to look at is Ursula von der Leyen, but as Alex calls her Ursula von der Crazy. This woman, she never ceases to amaze me. And if you look at her history in her career, wherever she has been a fiasco. I don't know what the Europeans imagined they are doing when they placed her in a position of such authority as she has. And that is the old thing. If you want to make a fool your leader, then you must accept that you will end in deep water. You cannot do it. If you look at the animal kingdom, they never select the weakest of the bunch to be the leader. It's the strongest lion that is leading the pack. It's the strongest wolf that leads the pack, not the weaklings. But us humans has become so domesticated and civilized that we accept things that we should never accept. And we accept it because of decency. There's no room for decency when it comes to survival. It's only the fittest that will survive. But let's get back to von der Crazy. We have to address our energy security at EU level. We learned from the pandemic that if we act in unity, we can address any crisis. So let us act together to reduce gas use and provide a safety net for EU countries. And although it's going to be a little bit dangerous what I want to say now, I'm going to do it. But the reference to the pestilence makes me lose my sanity, because we all know now what was the reality about that thing. And it is now from the lessons that they learned there that they can become so bold as to start instructing you how to act with energy, how to act with the environment, how to act with your movement, how to act with your wishes, how to act with your dreams. All of it is now under control because they had a test run. But if I come back to what she said, it is true that they have to address their energy security. But why is this addressing needed? Because they started a totally uncalled for war on economic level with Russia. And then there's this one. We have already done a lot to prepare with Repower EU. Gas storage is at 64%. Gas supply from other sources has increased to 75% compared to last year. And since the beginning of the year, an estimated additional 20 gigawatt of renewable energy capacity have been added. Now this is numbers that she's throwing up in the air, and I don't know where it is. I don't know whether it's true, I don't know whether it's fixation, or whether it's imagination. And she continues, for the first time we have to address our energy security at EU level. For this we have to reduce our gas consumption and put the saved gas into storage. This is a big ask for the whole of the EU, but it is necessary to protect us. Protect us. Protect us from what? From your stupid decisions. That is what we need protection against. By the way, if I say we, I actually mean the Europeans. I'm sitting here at the southern tip of Africa. I'm not affected by her bad decisions on gas. EU countries should do their best now to save 15% of annual gas consumption. We are providing guidance to do that in a smart way. Right now, the goal is aspirational. In case of a European alert, the 15% are binding. The quicker we act, the more we save, the safer we are. Just look at that picture. Look at that image. She's standing there like one or other overlord instructing children. Some member states are more vulnerable to disruptions, but we would all suffer the consequences of such a disruption through the single market. This is why all need to be ready to share gas with member states in need. And that is where the problem's going to start. There are countries that did not follow her insane path down to energy starvation and maintained their contracts with Russia, and they have provided for their citizens. Now she comes out and reckons those countries must share what they have with the rest. And then there's a comment on it. Too much to ask that we tighten our belts, but we do not see real measures. So less wolves and more actions. This has happened due to not knowing how to stay out of certain things. You always take the measures for the worse, never for the better. And that is the truth. The Europeans should have stayed out of the Ukraine affair. They allowed the Americans through NATO to force them into a war that they are going to lose. And then she makes this is now the first things that I spoke about was one talk that she had, or chat that she had. And this is now from another occasion. Europe must be prepared for complete halt in Russia gas supplies. The Commission President Ursula von der Leyen says Moscow will switch off the flow sooner or later. This is the same person that told European countries, don't pay rubles for your gas. She was a big promoter of don't pay for your gas. And now the realities are biting. But who's going to pay? The EU citizens. They will sorry. They will be sorry that they followed this woman so blindly. And then here is something to make the Europeans a little bit more nervous. Russia exporting record levels of gas to China. Gazprom reported a new export record of gas to China Sunday for the third time in July. Transit between the countries is possible via the Power of Siberia pipeline and formalized by Gazprom and China's CNPC energy firm. This is the thing. The Europeans played a stupid game and now they are winning stupid prizes. And then there's another one from Gazprom. Gazprom shuts down another Nordstream turbine. The gas giant has announced it had to put offline another turbine on the pipeline bringing LNG to Germany. Gazprom has cited routine maintenance as the reason for shutdown, which leaves Nord Stream running at less than half capacity. They don't learn. These people do not learn. And most important, they don't take note of warnings. And then there was a lot of talk about the EU finding alternative sources. And they are now, today, making a big song and dance about getting gas from Nigeria. And I read this comment on the video that I watched about the Nigerian gas. It seems that Russia preceded the European Union and invested in the Nigerian gas pipeline that passes through Morocco to Europe. Wow. And then somebody replied to that. +1 for that info. The EU also boasted recently of a gas deal with Kazakhstan. Guess who is an investor in Kazakhstan gas? Yep, Russia. More EU desperation, insanity and gaslighting. You see, this information, they make sure the European public never get it, while they're bullshitting them with getting alternative sources. And I spoke in a previous Skidmark about the volumes involved, and it is absolutely phenomenal. There's no way that Europe can survive without the gas piped to them from Russia. There is just simply not enough ships or enough trucks or enough trains to cart gas into the European community. And here is a snippet that prompted that response about the Nigerian gas line. The EU is planning to increase liquefied natural gas imports from Nigeria amid concerns that supply from Russia may be cut, according to the Deputy Director General of the European Commission Energy Department. Europe is in a tight spot in relation to gas, following the Russian invasion of Ukraine and the instability in our gas market and the threat of cutting off supply altogether, Matthew Bolden said at a news conference in Abuja on Friday. So we have launched the Energy Platform Task Force, and the primary goal is to reach out to our reliable partners such as Nigeria to replace the gas from Russia with gas from reliable partners. And it is absolutely disgusting what the man is talking about here. Russia has been a reliable provider for decades, through wars and everything. Always the gas was flowing. And now all of a sudden, they are not a reliable partner. The Europeans are going to regret this decision they made about the gas. And this Russophobia thing of theirs is going to cost them basically everything. I have done a Skidmark a few months ago in which I said Europe is going back to the Stone Age. And the fact of the matter is, what they are doing currently is just fast-tracking the European industrial collapse, which will turn many countries in Europe into third world countries. You may frown when I say this, but you must be aware of the realities. Think about it. All the social programs, pensions and housing and medical and all of those aid programs to the less privileged. Where is the financing coming from for that? From profits that was taxed, which was based on cheap energy for European industries. That is now gone. So how is Europe going to handle this? How are they going to handle this? There is a total societal collapse on the horizon for them. The governments will not be able to pay out all those benefits, social benefits, because they simply just don't have the money. The industries are shutting down, adding millions into the unemployment lines. How are Europe going to cope? I am sorry, but this is self-inflicted. And the European people better wake up while they still have something of a resemblance of an industry and a society and a social security life. It is going to evaporate. And then this one. And look at that face. EU sounds alarm over Russian gas. Moscow will cut off gas delivery sooner or later, the EU leader has claimed. The European Union should prepare for the worst case scenario of a complete halt in natural gas supplies from Russia. Now I'm going to stop there. This is absolutely ridiculous, the statements of them. The EC in Brussels, under leadership of this Ursula von der Crazy, they have cut the gas off to Europe. They, not Russia. I am working on a Skidmark about a speech that Putin gave in which he discussed the energy in more detail. That will follow in some time. I cannot understand how intelligent people, if you look at the German industry, I mean, they are world leaders on so many levels. Absolute brilliant technology, fantastic quality, something to be proud of. Industries that has become household names across the globe. All of that is being destroyed and destructed by this woman. How is it that the people in charge and involved in that industrial engine is taking this shit from this woman? I cannot understand it. I just cannot understand it. Write me comments and help me, make me understand. But common sense tells me this is absolute lunacy. And then she makes this statement. The Kremlin is not a reliable partner for Europe's energy supply. Gazprom has deliberately kept its storage levels low. In the meantime, Russia only supplies gas in part or not all in the 12 member states. What she does not say is that she encouraged a lot of the member states not to buy the gas, not to pay with rubles. What she does not mention is that they instigated Germany to steal Gazprom's assets, the storage assets in Germany. They stole those things, and they stole 2 tankers. Now they want to come and plead here and raise alerts and all of that. They did it to themselves. They. And the cruel reality is they did actually nothing to themselves, because they will be well looked after in their little ivory towers. It is the people on the street that is going to pay for this. It is absolutely astounding what I'm seeing when I look at all the reports about the gas. And I really have to step off this now, because it is quite clear that we are dealing with idiots, people that is totally incapable of managing an economy, totally incapable of managing decent, needed diplomatic relations, and they got themselves into a war that they did not need to join. But Washington cracked the whip and von der Leyen jumped. And that is the problem that we're facing in Europe today. And I'm so sorry, and I'm sad to say, the European people is going to suffer. Fortunately, there are some countries, it looks to me like Hungary is not planning on being on that slippery slope. They're trying their best to stay out of it. And I think they will. But from what I've heard, I'm not a European, but from what I've heard, if there's gas shortages in the winter, people will most probably freeze. And on that chilling note, I'm going to stop this. Please like, share, subscribe. That's all I'm asking. And it costs you nothing, and it helps me a lot. Have a great evening.